geoholic.
And the forest fire scars. So if you don't know, it's best that you don't know. The call of the wild, beyond
good stuff here.
Lights will haunt your dreams.
Should
Just know
scale it back here just a little bit.
It's
gonna pick up.
Mexico. New Mexico. And it goes to Billy Bonnie finds your
How about that transition? That's awesome. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
We're going to learn more about that in a second here.
We're going to learn a lot more about where that's coming from. Welcome back to Geoholics, episode 273.
Yes, 273.
I believe our guest this evening, this is the fifth time, I think.
I think so.
I think it's fifth time.
Five-timer.
Yep. First five-timer, I believe.
Oh, no, I think there's another one.
Yes, sir?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that would be.
Yeah, I think I know.
All right. Let me know.
Because we talked about it before.
Right on. But anyways, a well-known face, well-known voice on the
absolutely.
Geoholics podcast. We're excited to have this annual conversation at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, let's pay some bills.
Do our normal spiel.
Yep. News and happenings. We are finalizing our friend of the program list for 2026.
We're almost done.
Tomorrow's
the last day.
Yep. Very impressive list.
Yes.
I am shocked about this year's list of friends of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very impressive. I can't wait to release it.
Some familiar people and some new
ones.
New companies, and we are very excited about. Yeah, It's going to be great. It's been a great year.
Got a couple events coming up, of course. Geo Week. In about, a month from now?
No, it's about a month and a half.
No,
you're right.
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah, about a month. Yeah.
In Denver. So always a great event. One of our favorite events of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about that.
It's not the week after the Super Bowl. It's the following week.
It is. Yeah, which I think I kind of like.
Yeah,
actually.
it's always it's a lot. It's both because I do like getting out of town the day after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot because that's especially if you're a Phoenician like we are.
Yep.
That's also the golf tournament week,
Open.
and that's always crazy busy, and then the Super Bowl, and then no matter what, I'm very excited.
I am too. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Great 2 weeks between Geo Week and the Waste Management Open and the Super Bowl. It's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we will be at, I don't know if you'll be there. I don't know if you're going to be there or not, but
I'm still 50-50 on
Regional
Western
Surveyors
Regional,
Conference.
yeah.
Yep, be there as well. And then there's just a list after that of events we'll be at this year.
It's going to be a crazy year.
It's a busy year. It's going to be a big year for sure. So super excited. This episode, of course, is powered by MLID, making aerial and terrestrial surveys faster and easier than ever before. To learn more, go to emlid.com. What's new in your world, Mr. Sean?
I just always say the same dang thing all the time.
Maybe we should stop asking.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we need a new question.
But a new question because it's always busy here, busy in life. But everything's going well. Nothing really new. We're kind of in the grind of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are. The holidays are over. Can't talk about that anymore.
Yep.
There's no other days off. It is just put your head down and make a couple nickels. Grind away at the sawmill.
Yeah, I don't know.
Try to enjoy life a little bit. That's where we're at.
I don't know if you felt it or not, but it seemed like this year the ramp up after the holidays was much faster.
Oh yeah,
like there wasn't like a gradual ramp up.
Usually it's like by February you start going. No, it was we hit the ground running this year. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Yeah, I like to say the industries that you and I play in are really on the leading edge because we got to get the stuff that we do done first before you can start building and everything else. So if we're busy, it's a good sign for all of us, is what I usually say.
Definitely.
What about you? What's new with you? Still waiting on the grandkids?
Still waiting on the grandkids. Yep.
Okay.
About 2 months away for the first one, 3 months for the second one. Super excited about that. What else? Oh, the Bears, Chicago Bears, my team.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking pretty good. That game last weekend. Holy crap.
Yeah. You think you can keep doing that?
That was insane. No.
Do you think your blood pressure can handle watching any of those games?
No, to all the above.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable for many reasons. But it is pretty exciting. I got to tell you, Caleb Williams, pretty exciting player to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny the excitement.
Yep. So big weekend, big game this weekend at home against the Rams. Weather is looking to be pretty chilly, like 15 degrees or something.
It's got to be in your favor.
Yep. Well, I saw a stat that Rams quarterback, what's his name?
Matthew Stafford
is like 1 in 9 or something if it's under 32 degrees.
He's a California guy.
Yeah. So I was happy about that matchup.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see, and we'll see if he wears sleeves or not.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But,
real quick before I forget, you have to remind me. I am going to see our accountant, my dad, tomorrow. Make sure I don't leave here without his care package.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, for sure.
I'll take it with me.
Right on. Perfect. At least somebody will get there.
Somebody will get one of these miners set up.
Make money.
Start making some passive income.
Might as well be your dad.
Right.
The last guy that needs it.
Well, I don't know if his inheritance is going to come in like he is thinking. So,
oh, well. All right. Our weekly updates brought to you, as always, by Topodot. The Topodot Users Conference is also coming up. It's the 10th anniversary.
10th anniversary.
Yep. Join the Topodot community at Tuck 26 in Orlando, May 11th through 15th. Register before New Year's Day. Well, I guess that's old news. Early bird pricing.
Actually, you know what? If you're still interested in early bird pricing, there may be a possibility. Email us at info@thegeoholics.com. We'll pass it along. Maybe we can still get you in there.
Yep. I had a little nice conversation with Ted earlier this week.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, they got a lot of
good guy.
Very exciting stuff coming up this year. So
they do. Oh, my goodness. Big announcements coming up. That song. Which, I'm so excited. Again, one of my favorite guests of the year has this band, which I'm going to let you tell the listeners about.
Yeah, that was a new group called High Lonesome Drifters. That song was called New Mexico. I believe they refer to themselves as HLD, as a progressive country and blues rock band.
I made that up, but they can go with it.
Band right here in Phoenix, Arizona. The band members are very own Brian Owens, Andrew Hughes, Dave Fogel, Robert Adams, and John Jacobson. I don't have all the stats on how many awards and accolades they have gotten because they have just formed, just hitting the road, and been in the studio cranking away at what you just heard. And I don't know where people can find out if they're interested, want to listen to more, Brian.
Yeah. So we actually have an Instagram. You can follow us on High Lonesome Music. That's us. It'll show up under my name, but it's High Lonesome Music. That's our Instagram. And that song and others are currently in production, and we're going to have those out here probably within the next couple months. So every streaming platform, they'll be out there.
Nice. That's got to be exciting.
Oh, it's so much fun.
I know it's something you've been wanting to do for a long time.
My whole life.
Yeah. That's awesome. How do you know these guys?
So a lot of us are actually School of Rock alumni.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. We met through the School of Rock, which is something the missus and I have done, for years. But actually only one member who was a peripheral friend through our manager. He's the only one that isn't a School of Rock alum. The rest of us all met through the school.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Really exciting. Can't wait to see what happens next for you guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I'm really excited to also hear all that new music when it comes out here. And when do you think that'll be?
Yeah, probably within the next few months.
Nice.
Yeah. We have 4 recorded, including that one. So we're just waiting on those to come out. And then we're actually probably going to have like a release party to kind of, get it out there. And so this is actually the very first time that anybody publicly will hear any of the music. Nice. So it's kind of a cool opportunity here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, world premiere
right here
on the Geoholics.
Who knew?
Special gift for the 5-timer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. As always, our song of the week is brought to you by Altair Central, your Trimble dealer for all things survey mapping and even marine gear for your hydrographic surveying. Check out allterracentral.com to find out more. My brain is not firing on all.
It's okay. It's okay. That's why there's 2 of us.
Jeez, yeah, but I know your brain isn't firing at all.
Oh, come on! I'm a pro.
So
what are you talking about?
2 of us, we can have
got
one
a little
brain.
Red Bull here. We're gonna make this happen. I do have to mention Altair Central. The last time we had him on the show, we introduced I forgot his name. Shoot. They are offering drones now as well.
Oh wow!
We coincidentally crashed our drone last week, so reached out to those guys, and man, I mean, exactly, got a quote, got exactly what we need. Worked through the pros and cons, got something reasonable. as far as price wise. And I mean, man, just the same level of service you get on survey equipment, drone, same thing.
Nice. Was it Scotty on the spot?
It was, you reach out to Scott and he says, hey, this guy will help you. And they do it.
And sure enough,
there
Bob's
it shows
your
up.
uncle.
Exactly.
All right. Let's move on to the NLC prep trivia portion of the show.
Yeah, here we go. Timely with our guest and our topic, but here's our trivia question this week. Which approach is most likely to create a sustainable zero incident safety culture?
I'm dying to know.
Is it A, increasing the number of safety rules and disciplinary actions after incidents?
After the keyword.
After incidents. B, relying on lagging indicators and incident reports to drive safety improvements. Keyword lagging. C, changing how employees perceive risk, responsibility, and their connection to one another. Or D, separating safety from production so safety decisions are made independently.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
In a situation like this, when I'm really not 100% sure what the answer is, I typically go with the longest sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, that's typically the way I approach these things.
Okay.
Whether or not that makes sense, I have no idea.
Or in this case, since people aren't reading this, but the one that has the italicized word might be the one that has the most impact.
Yes. Very good point. Very good point. All right. Pass your serving exams the very first time. Check out nlcprep.com. They offer targeted practice and expert guidance designed specifically for surveyors.
Yeah. And
check them out.
Remember, submit your answer to that question.
Yep.
info@thegeoholics.com. Every week we grab all the ones that submitted with the right answers, random drawing, get your Amazon gift card right back to your email.
Yep. Well worth your time.
Well
worth your 30 seconds.
Yes.
All right. Let's get our guests in here. Our guest this week is brought to you by David Evans & Associates. To find out more about the DEA difference, which I learned a lot about the last 3 days.
Yes, you did.
Visit DEAINC.com. We have Brian Owens with us. Already
Always
mentioned.
Good to have Brian here.
Yep. Born in El Paso, Texas, raised in Silver City, New Mexico. He attended Western New Mexico University, Nashville State Tech, Central Texas College, and finished at Columbia Southern University, where he received a BS in Occupational Safety and Health. He's a songwriter. Already let that cat out of the bag. And an author in his free time. We'll talk about that more here in just a minute. He is, I don't know if your title's changed or not, but it was VP of Safety and Team Development for Buesing Corp, where he oversees all the safety programs, sits as the chair of the Continual Improvement Committee, and assists with complex HR compliance, personnel-related matters. Is that still accurate?
That is all still true.
All right. Passions are honor, people, family, music, of course, and words. Brian, welcome back to the Geoholics.
Thanks, guys. Great to be here again.
Yeah, we
absolutely
love having you on the show. What is new? What has transpired over the last year?
Oof. So a lot of growth. Buesing has shaped up. Actually, another first I'm able to announce today. We are now an ESOP. So that is a brand new development there. So we're all very excited about that. Can
you let us know, like, what's the elevator speech, or what's the benefit of the transition from before to an ESOP?
Well, I think it was always the plan. It was just finding the right time to do it. So over the last few years, some of the jobs that we've landed, the security, the talent that we've brought in, it was just time. We've got the right crew at the helm, and things are looking good. The future's bright. And it was always the owner's vision, our board of directors' vision. It was just time to go that way.
Yeah. And you may not know this, and I'm just curious, but was it like, did every meeting of the board are like, okay, is this the time, or is it constantly talked about, or is it somebody just says, you know what, guys, we got it, let's do it and run with it?
It was a period of time. I think maybe over the last year and change is when it kind of started to snowball, and it just came to fruition. Yeah, just yesterday. So
that is awesome. Well, I'm happy for you and happy for all the team at Buesing.
Thank you. Yeah, exciting days over there. We're looking forward to it.
How long did the process take?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Well, there's more than I know for sure. Yep. But yeah, it was at least a year and change, year and a half, maybe even more. I know that the idea and the groundwork of it went back even further than that.
Wow.
But once they kind of got things going and snowballing and getting the right pieces in place, it really came together pretty quick.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a win-win for everybody involved.
It is.
So that's really exciting. Yeah. Where should we start, Sean? I want to talk about safety, obviously.
Yeah,
it's always good to have a conversation about safety to kick off the year. And Brian is an authority on that. And he's got a very unique perspective as well. First of all, the name of the book.
The safety book is Inversion and the Perspective-Based Safety Culture.
Gotcha. And the word inversion in this case, what is that referring to exactly as it pertains to safety?
Yeah. So what it's really taking reference to is the old traditional safety pyramid, Heinrich's model. Heinrich, he was a safety engineer. I think it was for Travelers Insurance 100 years ago. And he developed this model that a lot of what current and modern safety is built on. It was just a suggestion that so many at-risk behaviors lead to the increased opportunity of smaller events, which then acts as the catalyst for larger events, eventually pointing to a catastrophe of some kind. So, this model of increasing severity of accidents is all based on his model. So the inversion takes its name from the model that I built, where I inverted his idea. When I was introduced to it early in my career, I didn't want to say that he got it wrong. I just didn't understand why it was being adopted as the whole thing. I was looking at it saying, yeah, that's all great, but what are you doing to prevent these things? What are you doing to be proactive instead of reactive? And so not really knowing any better, I just built the opposite facing model, and no points for originality, but ended up calling it inversion. And so it stuck, and here we are.
Right. Yeah. And it's effective, and one of the things, we'll get into this a little bit more, but this is something like I use all the time. Like when you hire a new employee, you are inheriting all those habits.
That's right.
That employee is bringing with him, good, bad, or indifferent, so changing, that perspective is a huge challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've talked about it before, but people's behavior is their contribution to culture. Culture is really nothing more than all of our collective behavior, all assembled. So if we're talking about shifting culture or changing culture, improving culture, all you're really saying, you're pointing at is, I need your behavior to be different. Unless you find a way to actually get them off of that entire lifetime of behavior development and head in a different direction, you're just spinning your wheels. So that's what this model was designed to do, was create a formal approach to behavior realignment.
So we mentioned, this is your fifth time on the show. And we both were introduced to the concepts that you're talking about, and you do a great job of orientating all of your staff. I mean, it's amazing. My question is, so it's been what, 5, 7 years? How long have you been, I wouldn't say doing this, but on that inversion and then presenting the idea of this concept?
So the book was published in 2019, but it actually came out second. I was actually speaking on this idea and teaching this idea probably for 4 to 5 years before that.
Okay.
So we're
and I guess I want to understand specifically, because so I don't want to say it's been the same thing, but have you noticed a shift, or those that you've introduced the concept to 7 years ago, is that still there today, or is it lost its luster? You know what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
Or maybe it complacent. Is that starting to pop in?
Complacency is natural, right? We are masters of forming habits. Once we figure something out, we put it on the back burner. It just becomes something that we're not focused with. The beautiful thing about this idea is using perspective as a tool. You're constantly reinvigorating and challenging the way you're looking at things. So it never really completely falls away and becomes that back burner item. The second it seems like it's doing that, you bring in a different form of perspective. You tell a different story. You engage it a different way. If you're constantly changing perspective, it's it acts as this model for continual improvement. Yeah. And that's the idea.
Yeah. Well, safety, in that lens, has to be part of the culture of the company.
Absolutely.
In order to have that perspective.
Well, I've always seen safety and really anything in the organization as downstream of culture. Culture doesn't necessarily have to be good. There can be a terrible culture. Safety and the metrics of safety being downstream of culture will also be very telltale about that. So if you've got a very healthy culture, in theory, the byproduct of that is likewise a healthier safety culture or a safer organization. You can see it in profitability, in retention. Yep. All of those things are all downstream of the culture of the organization.
Sure.
Yeah. And when you're functioning, under, that model and, you bring on a new employee, at what point is this should be part of the onboarding process?
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, it has to be.
Day one. In fact, literally today, Thursdays are our new hire orientation. This got rolled out to our brand new group of new hires this morning. So day one, this whole idea and introducing them to the idea of safety as a value. That is taught, like that. Taught day one.
I like that. And a lot of the traditional safety programs rely on written rules and enforcement, enforced compliance, that type thing.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that work always or ever?
well, going back to this idea of this behavior formula, and that's in the book when we've talked about it in the past. I've used the analogy that it really helps tell the story the best is an arrow mid-flight. The people show up to the organization, or all of us are simply arrows mid-flight. We've been launched on the trajectory we're on because of those past exposures, influences, and perceptions of life. That's what our behavior is. We're just an arrow mid-flight. Those rules and policies that you're talking about would be like standing idly by and telling the arrow as it goes by, you shouldn't do that. You need to do it differently. What you really should be doing is XYZ. What did you actually do to motivate or impact the path of that arrow, whether to affirm it or change it? You did nothing. What you have to look at when you're looking at trying to change somebody's behavior is you have to think what it would take to knock that arrow off its course. It's something as powerful as a gust of wind. And that's what perspective does.
Yep. Yeah.
So I got to ask, and I was going to wait for a little bit, but I've just, because I was thinking about it on the way over here.
Yeah.
And we talk about it with everybody, but we talk about technology and AI. What are you doing with all this crazy stuff in the world of safety? I'm sure there's an application, and what are you guys doing, along the technology realm to make everyone?
Yeah. All of that stuff is tools, right? There are tools at your disposal. In the safety world, all of those things fall into what we call the hierarchy of controls. There is a hierarchy. Some are better than others. Elimination, substitution, engineering, administrative, and PPE. That's your hierarchy of controls. But all that is the means. It's what's giving you the tool to make the thing safer. I think it's fantastic to be able to use tools and new technology and utilize it to help make those changes. If your storytelling is awesome, the philosophy is great, all of those things are my favorites, but you have to have the tools there at your disposal to help you along the way. That's where AI comes in. That's where the technology, the cameras, the analytics,
all
the
that
metrics,
data you get and metrics.
That's
and
right.
Dashboards, and now you can.
If you're not doing anything with the data, if you're not doing anything with the readouts, with the technology that's there at your disposal, are you even really doing anything?
Right.
So that's how I look at it. It's all fantastic stuff. You just have to use it as the tool or the means to get to what you're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you emphasize, putting humanity before policy.
Yeah.
What does that look like on a job site? Like, give us an example of the effect that has.
So look, you talk about a policy or a procedure. Why is that there? Why did we write the policy in the first place?
Because something happened.
Happened to who?
Somebody,
a person.
Yeah,
Suddenly we're back to the humanity piece. The only reason we have policies, procedures, laws, controls, the whole idea of safety is wrapped around the human element. If you take away the human element, the whole idea of the rest of it crumbles with it. If you're putting policies first or as the more important thing, you've lost sight of what it's about in the first place. The only reason those things are there are to protect the humanity. So if you are going in understanding the importance of that, those policies, procedures should fall to second in line to help bolster and support the sacred, advancement of that humanity.
Mm-hmm. I used to hear people refer to it as that policy was written in blood.
Yes. And it was. Most of them are.
Yeah, most of them are. Because something happened that bad that created it. It wasn't just, what we need to do? We need to make sure this doesn't happen because it could. Well, usually it's more reactive.
Yeah, I was just going to say the reactive model.
Absolutely. And one step further, whose blood? And suddenly we're back to a person again.
Yeah.
It all centers around the humanity piece. Mm-hmm. So that's why it has to be in that order.
Yep. So not only do you, do consulting for safety, but also leadership.
I do.
Right. And I like this question a lot because I think all of us have seen it firsthand. Many leaders say they value safety. Most do, right? But what's rewarded is speed and output, right? How do you flip the script on that?
Well, a lot of times those things are learned as being opponents of one another, right? Production and safety.
Yep.
We have silos. Safety ends up being a necessary evil, and we are behind on, budget, on time constraints. Therefore, we have to reprioritize, our approach to safety. And historically, that has been the case. But the thing about leadership and the way it's balanced with safety is if you can lead somebody in such a way that they will come to the solution in the middle because they want to, you no longer have to push it to them because they have to. Yeah. You end up at the same place, right?
Right.
So that's how I teach our leadership is be an example of why they should be coming to it on their own, not pushing it because they have to. Some policy, some standard says they have to. Right. I think that's a downfall of a lot of leaders is they don't understand how important their role is.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. I don't know if you guys have seen any stuff. I'm a big fan. So I use some of his stuff in my consulting, but he tells a story about going down to buy a cup of coffee, and said he had way too much fun buying a cup of coffee. He said he tipped 100% on buying a cup of coffee because he had such a good interaction with this barista. And he said because of his nature and what he does in leadership consultation, he asked, "Seems to me like you like your job." And this guy responded saying, "I love my job." He said, "Oh, well, tell me about that. Why is that?" I said, "Because all of the managers here, not just mine, all of the managers, anytime they go by, they ask, am I doing okay? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything that you need in order to be more successful?" And it really makes me lean into my role here. Coincidentally, I also work at a different coffee shop right across the street, double income, same job. Over there, I just keep my head down, try to get through the shift. They're always looking for you to mess up, try to, pick on you, find you doing something wrong so they can jump out and say, gotcha. Over there, I just try to get through the day. Simon went on to say, how interesting is it that our impression of this person changes, not because of him, but of his leadership and how he's invested in by his management team. That blew my mind. I loved that. Similarly, I don't know if you've gotten into any of the Navy SEAL material out there with Leif Babin and Jocko Willink. They've got some fantastic stuff. But there's a story in Extreme Leadership, Extreme Ownership, where they're talking about. I think it was Leif's story, but he was talking about watching boat drills during Hell Week, and there was a team that was continually winning all the drills, and by effect, they got to take these coveted breaks, right, because they were winning. Contrarily, there was a group that was losing every time, and they weren't getting the breaks. They had to go back out again, and so morale was just tanked with this one team, and they called this leader over, the leader of that team, and basically said, "What's going on, man? You're kind of not doing so hot here." And he basically pointed at the other team and said, "Must be nice. That guy's got all the quality, bodies on his team." And so they said, "Well, let's try an experiment. Let's just swap the leaders." So they gave him his wish. They gave him the team with the team that had been winning, and took the winning leader and put him on the losing team. Mm-hmm. The very next drill, the losing team won. All they did was swap out the leaders. So this idea of no bad teams, just bad leaders, trickles down into safety too.
Yeah, I love that. David Evans and Associates. This one's near and dear to my heart, to be honest with you. At DEA, they join their clients to make a positive difference. DEA is a recognized leader in the design and management of complex transportation, land development, water resources, and energy projects nationwide.
Great group of people over there. Mm-hmm. They combine the talents of engineers, surveyors, planners, hydrographers, landscape architects, and natural resource scientists to provide their clients access to a complete range of services.
DEA is consistently ranked among ENR's top 100 peer design firms in the U.S. and among leaders in many of their local markets.
That's right. To find out more, visit www.deainc.com.
Trimble Geospatial. For generations, surveying and mapping professionals have looked to Trimble Geospatial for the industry's most trusted hardware and software solutions. Designed by and for surveyors, Trimble solutions help customers work faster, safer, and more sustainably.
Dedicated to big thinking innovation, together with their worldwide distributor partners, the Trimble Geospatial team is working with current and future generations of surveyors for a more sustainable future.
To find out more, visit geospatial.trimble.com.
Yeah. Okay. But to a point.
Sure.
And then maybe if you can help us, and I love that perspective. When do you draw the line of you know what? This is not there. You just don't you're not getting it. How do you, because there should be some accountability too. Because in that model, it's it's not me. I just had a bad boss.
Sure.
And how do you balance those two concepts?
So I don't remember if I've used the analogy here before. In 5 times I probably did, but it's worth revisiting.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you picture an orchard, right? Your orchard is identified by the trees. That is what the orchard is. A case in point, if I took away the harvesting equipment, the processing plant, the farmhouse over in the corner, and just left the trees, I have the orchard. But if I put that stuff back and took away the trees, I don't really have an orchard anymore. Mm-hmm. So the orchard's identity is the trees. Similarly, in an organization with culture, an organization's identity is with its people, not necessarily the management, the tools, the PPE, the stuff, right? The people are going to people with or without you.
Right.
They may not maximize their output. They may not do very well organically on their own, but they're going to do what they're going to do. This is where the management comes in. And so coming around to your point, are we first looking at why the tree isn't putting off fruit? Is it getting enough water?
Yeah.
Is it being overshadowed by the other trees around it? Does it have a bug on it? Do we just need to remove that limb and it's going to be okay? Or did we even plant the right tree in the right soil? Maybe it should be in that pasture instead of this one.
Right.
If you have done all of those proactive things and you're still getting double barrel middle fingers from the tree, it's no longer the farmer or the farm. It's a tree thing.
Yeah.
But if you go right into chopping down your trees in your orchard, you're not going to be a very good, producing orchard.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. There is a point where you've exhausted everything you can. I'm a big fan of being long to coach, mentor, and develop, and quick to fire.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I like that. And I like the way you put that. It's because eventually, okay, you do find, it does have a bug. Can't save it. And those bugs are going to start hopping on the other trees.
It's possible.
We got to chop that out.
But I always save that as the last resort.
Right.
Have I done my due diligence to take care of this tree?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really interesting. So if you walked on a job site tomorrow, what are some early warning signs that, maybe one of the companies on that particular project, the safety culture isn't great, right? Like here, McKenna, my oldest daughter, sent me a picture the other day. She was driving, I don't know where she was, but she was driving. Here's this surveyor by himself, young guy, not even a safety vest on, out in the middle of the turn lane, getting a shot like on a water meter or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody around him. Like McKenna's like, I felt so bad for this kid. He's sitting out there like a sitting duck, like, I mean, it's crazy. Like I don't understand what the mindset is to send somebody out and put them in that position.
Well, there's always going to be that low hanging fruit stuff, the 101 level stuff that you're going to see that, okay, this is very indicative of, a company not really taking care of their employees and the culture is probably broken. The things that I would look for in a consulting capacity, and Sean, you used the word lagging earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would start looking for. A company that's really proud of their lagging indicators. They're pointing at these metrics that are after the fact as though, I'm doing okay. There's an analogy story I use in my training where I tell the story of two companies. Company A, 0 fatalities, the whole history of the company. They are, they have their obligatory 1 or 2 OSHA recordables a year, not completely out of sync with industry norms. They've been awarded by their insurance company, for doing well. They're recognized by their peers, but pretty good, solid company, on the surface. Company B, well, they have more than 200 injuries a year. They're currently open 5 open OSHA investigations. Bad turnover. Nobody wants to stay there. They can't get any coverage for their auto insurance, because of the number of accidents they have. And so I'll pose the question: which company would you rather work for?
Company A.
It would seem, right?
Yes.
However, on the next slide is I combine the metrics. It wasn't a tale of 2 companies. This was a tale of one company. All of those things I just said can exist simultaneously under one roof. What I did was I skewed the way I made you see it based on the lagging indicators. That's the slippery slope of being proud of your lagging indicators. What are you doing to actually have earned them? You can accidentally get those things too. Or if I only pay attention with opinion bias, I'm look at how well we're doing. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I start looking for. The signs of, we haven't hurt anybody bad enough. We have to report it to OSHA in so many days. And signs that say safety is my priority shift.
Yeah. We've had 0 near misses last year.
All of that. That's what I start looking for, because all of those things is what you are proclaiming.
Yeah.
That's what you're proud of.
Yep.
I'm leery of organizations that are adorning their walls and their their vehicles and stuff with all of that stuff.
Sure.
I'm really curious what you're doing proactively, instead of the lagging stuff.
Yeah. What are some ways that you could make safety fun, let's say. I know in the past, definitely want to talk about it again, like some creative ways to, reward folks for doing the right thing.
That's the beautiful thing about, safety is what you can do after an accident happens is about that much. You can't, there's a little bit, there's some gray area in the standard. There's some letters of interpretation with OSHA. There's some, some flexibility with your claims and how you management to try to keep dollars. There's a little bit you can do, but it's largely going to be what it is.
Right.
What you can do proactively and creatively to prevent it in the first place, that's infinite.
Yep.
That's where the fun is. And I've seen a lot of different ways to do it. One of the best examples I think I've ever seen, a place I used to work, an aluminum extrusion outfit. At the end of the year, I took a look at what my biggest headaches, not just mine, the company's, the facility's biggest headaches had been as far as incidents, near misses, claims. And I took the top 4 things, going from memory, like fire, hand and finger injuries, sprained strains, and missing PPE or whatever had been our biggest headaches. So what I did is I developed an incentive program and turned each one of those things into quarterly focus topics. So we let the employees break off into teams, teams of 2, 3, 4 people. They got to come up with their creative names. Most of them I can't mention on air.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, they had their own fun little group. And so for the first quarter, focus topic was fire hazard prevention. Go. And so they spent the next 3 months out there just like an Easter egg hunt, looking for these hazards of fire-related things, from fire extinguishers not being checked to, somebody, doing something that should have had, a certain protocol being done along the way. Anyway, at the end of that quarter, all right, that one's done. Now let's move into the next topic. So we went through this all year long. By the end of the year, my biggest headaches from the year before were gone. All of them, because I had empowered the entire workforce to go out and find them for me.
Yeah.
And then my team and I simply got to go fix them along the way. Yeah. And then we did it again the next year. That was so much fun. They had a great time doing it, and we had some incentives at the end, for first, second, third place.
Yeah.
That's a really fun way to do it. Our Employee of the Month program that we have at Buesing is really fun. Our core value recognition sticker program is a lot of fun. There's so many ways, and again, there's no rules there. Yeah. You can find all these cool creative ways to get people deputized to go out and be part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, our good friend Ben Chinnaberry, his company, they have like these like safety coins. Basically, I thought that was a really cool idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you talked about it one of the other times you were on, something about like a special hard hat or something.
Yeah. That's part of our
Employee of the Month.
Employee of the Month. Yeah. Buesing's Best.
Buesing's Best.
Yep.
That's right.
Which again is just built on our core values, which is behavioral excellence, safety, and teamwork.
So in a situation like that, and, use Buesing as an example, like what does the program look like? Like, do you have like a nomination period or something?
Yeah. So it's basically a month. So we have a continual improvements committee, which we've talked about before. Yeah. That committee receives nominations all month long from people for the field. Everybody's eligible, most everybody.
Yep.
And during our continual improvements committee meeting, we look at the write-ups, the nominations, and we all vote on who was the best, who led the pack. If an individual didn't win that particular month because somebody had really knocked it out of the park, it's not that they missed their chance. They go into this pool of not yet winners. Okay. So we're going to take the new nominees for the month on the next iteration, but we're also going to bring back those folks that didn't quite make it last time.
Nice.
And they are now re-eligible. So that's kind of how we get to the point of nominating that particular person.
Yeah. Because even just the fact that they were even nominated is something to
Absolutely. Yeah, by their peers.
Yeah. Huge.
So I saw what you this question over here, and I'm going to ask it, and your answer is probably going to hit home because I'm guilty of probably exactly what you're going to say here. But what's the biggest mistake that well-intentioned safety professionals make when rolling out new programs?
Failing to grasp the end user's perspective. They are rolling it out from their point of view, or again, some lagging indicator. We've had so many incidents. This claim dollar amount was too high. We have to write a new policy. That way we fix that.
Yeah.
They don't really think about the end user's point of view. And that's actually what I lead with. I am such a staunch opponent of the knee-jerk reaction to things. I just don't like writing a policy to write a policy, making a rule change to change a rule. Even if firing people, just to fire people.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with any of that. If you're going to make a change that big, you should be thinking about, is it going to be easy? It should be. It should be easily digestible. It should be easy to manage. Otherwise, you're setting people up for failure.
Yep.
If I write a rule that is hard to do, and then I go out and enforce it, I just, created a bunch of violations out there before I even got out of the gate. It needs to be digestible. I need to be able to understand it. Can I take this policy change or this rule and go out and help you understand why we're doing it?
It's kind of a classic top-down, boss tell type model that doesn't typically work, especially in a situation like that. Like those new policies, I'm sure you would want to get input from the folks that,
Yeah. And, a very recent example of that at Buesing was the rollout of the cameras in our fleet.
Did you go front facing?
Yeah.
Does it tell you when you're not looking at the
360 facing?
Yeah.
So it was going to be a very jarring change.
Yeah.
So months ahead of time, I went in and had stand down meetings with the drivers. I listened to their concerns. I told them, look, I want to be transparent. This is coming. But I want to hear your concerns, and I want to share with you some of the reasons why we're doing this. One of the biggest reasons was, I told them, we aren't doing enough to protect you. I said, raise your hand if you have been the victim of another driver out there making you a target because you're in that nice, shiny corporate vehicle. Everybody's hand went up. I said, that's on us. And all you could see the body language change. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I never really thought about that. So this is going to help with that. Yeah. Here's another thing we're going to do. Circling back to incentives. We are going to turn this program into an opportunity for you to score big. And we did, and I don't mind sharing the dollar amount. We're kind of proud of it. The metrics on this safe driver program, our top driver or safest driver for the year is awarded $5,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes. Second place is $1,000, and third place is $500. Okay. Now I know that sounds like a massive investment.
Not really.
$6,500. Compare that against a claim.
Oh
yeah, that's a fender bender.
That is easily digestible.
Oh yeah.
So what we're doing is we're simply taking that money that we would have paid on a claim anyway and giving it to our best drivers.
And that's one.
Yeah.
That is and we're back to inversion, inverting the way you're looking at things and rolling things out. So because we did it so tenderly, so underhandedly with the group, and really emphasized us wanting to partner with them with this really intrusive, very harsh, very aggressive type of program, they love it now. Like they actually save videos for safety shares.
Yeah,
look at what this Yahoo did today.
Right,
and now it's a learning opportunity for the rest of the group. They're cheering each other on. It's really been very cool to see the way that went. That could have gone a completely different way. And I know there are companies that probably have had completely different situations.
Yeah, you're just, this is Big Brother. You just want to watch me while I'm,
right.
And are you getting any good response or change in behavior from? Because one of the things I know it can do is it'll tell you if, hey, knucklehead, you're on your phone. Put your phone down. Like it'll. And what some of the people I've talked to have said, yeah, like I didn't even realize I was doing some of this stuff.
Yeah, it does. It alerts you on all of those things. And again, we've got a very coaching and mentoring based program with that. Out of all of those alerts, there are going to be alerts that are triggered that don't really matter. I've got, so-and-so ran a stop sign 15 times. So we go look at the video. It is an open field in a new subdivision that's being built, and there's absolutely no. It's just that's not what we're looking for.
Right.
So and so's had 20 hard accelerations. Go check it out. Well, yeah, he's down in the bottom of a pit and he's accelerating to get up the hill. Yeah. So we go through and we screen all those things and take all of those out. So what is left is the stuff that, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And then we let their supervisors know, here's your the alert triggers for the week. Go ahead and go coach your team. And week by week, you just see these numbers fall.
Yeah.
And they don't want them, right? Because that's hurting their chances of.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you also don't want to deal with any of that. You don't want to deal with having to come and tell you about it or anything. It's just a pain in the butt to begin with.
Yeah.
So, and it's just the one other comment I'll make on that is, I've been driving a lot in a lot more traffic than I'm used to because I moved and it's just a kind of a different traffic deal. So a lot of times I get into that zone where you don't really know what's coming up and that right lane may just back up so much. And then you're like, shoot, I should have gotten in line back there. Now I got to be that a-hole that pokes in. Yep. What I've actually been doing is you find the company vehicle because that guy always has the biggest following distance. And that's where I have to slip. I mean, it's unfortunate, but those are the guys that are doing it right because everyone else is damn near bumper to bumper. And I'm like, I couldn't have got in back there but I can't stop where I am because that's so just pick out a company vehicle and there's always enough room to slip in front of them.
Oh, we know who you are.
Then I'll be on the next video.
It's so funny. And I can't remember. It was when I was working with you, Sean. I went to a Buesing appreciation lunch or something like that. Big barbecue and blah blah blah. And you guys were giving out a bunch of awards at that lunch for different things, safety being one of them. And anytime anybody got called up for an award, everybody cheered for them. So you just know like that. It's ingrained in the Buesing culture, and they're supportive of each other.
Well, again, it's one of our core values: teamwork. That's the T in BEST. Yep. And you look at any of our vehicles, most of our swag gear, the team or the word team is everywhere. Team Buesing. It's part of our identity.
Yeah. That's super cool. So unfortunately, I don't want to say maybe it's most, but a lot for sure. Organizations, they're stuck in that reactive safety cycle that we were talking about, right? What's something small, even an inversion that they can make like tomorrow to make a difference?
So one of my favorite sayings, again, I have used it here in the past, but it never gets old, is what's said isn't half as important as what's heard. And so if you can make that small change, you can do that immediately. That basically means is quit looking at the way that you are, quit worrying about what you're saying and instead frame it in a way that the person that's hearing it can use it to be successful. I've told the story about my son with the Phillips screwdriver. I'm mad because I think he's goofing off, but he's over here looking for a screwdriver that actually says Phillips on it. And
remember that?
Exactly.
Yep.
You take that same application to industry, that can be fatal. That simple little, and it's not even a miscommunication. It's just the way you framed the comment and the set of instructions. So something that leaders and organizations in mass can do right now is just change the way that they're framing their communication and be more focused on what the end user, the receiver of the information, is actually hearing. That's the more important thing.
Yeah. Esri. Esri is the global market leader in geographic information system software, location intelligence, and mapping.
Yeah, they take a geographic approach to problem solving brought to life by modern enterprise-grade GIS technology.
Beyond sophisticated maps and advanced geospatial analytics, Esri technology enables faster data sharing and more fluid collaboration.
That's right. They make the world's most powerful GIS software. To find out more, visit Esri.com. One of our newest friends of the program, MLID. MLID is a company specializing in high-precision RTK GNSS receivers and software solutions for various industries, including, of course, land surveying, construction, and drone mapping.
As our weekly episode sponsor, their product lineup features the Reach RS3, a survey-grade receiver with IMU tilt compensation. That's a big deal. The Reach RX, an ultralight multiband RTK rover, and the Reach RS2 Plus, a versatile multiband RTK GNSS receiver suitable for both rover and base station applications.
Well done. Well done. That was a mouthful. MLID offers software tools such as MLID Flow, a mobile app for data collection in the field, MLID Flow 360, a cloud-based application for project management, and MLID Studio, free software post-processing kinematic, static, and drone data.
To learn more, simply visit mlid.com. Circling back to that story I told about that, that kid surveying in the middle of a turning lane and, just, I don't know, sitting duck basically. And he's uncomfortable doing that, right? Like what's something a person in that position can do or say to maybe their supervisor that isn't going to get him fired? Right?
Well, you're already protected under the OSH Act for being discriminated against for bringing up safety concerns. So it's already against the law. In fact, that's something that we go over right away at the beginning in orientation. I let them know there's a bunch of things out there that protect you, but I want to draw your attention to a couple here in particular. One of them is, and I tell them, this is going to be the stupidest thing that I say all day long. You don't need my permission to be safe. I want you to be selfish with your safety. If you are being aggressively selfish at protecting yourself, the result of that is I'm not getting a call that you got hurt, right? You actually stood up. You might see something that I didn't know about.
Sure.
And that one thing, that might be happening across the whole organization. That might trigger a campaign to go square that thing away. But if you empower your entire workforce to speak up for themselves, own their own safety, and watch out for one another, I don't have to be out there as though I'm in charge of it. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions is that safety as a department or a person is actually in charge of safety. We're not. There's no way we can be out there protecting everybody. In fact, on our employees' hard hats, we even slap a sticker that says, I am authorized to shut down any job and to stop any unsafe act.
Right.
Every single person is empowered. So that situation, at least in an environment that I would be involved in, they would have the utmost authority to call that out and say, I need to look at this differently. I don't have the right gear. This doesn't look like it did on the map. I thought I was going to be, this road wasn't even here. And now that I'm looking at this, I got to go back to the drawing board. And then when he shows back up at the office a half hour later, and the boss is like, I thought you were out doing the thing. Yeah, here, take a look at this. Oh man, my bad. That map is a couple months old. Let's rethink this. Maybe we can come in from the other side. Well, that's how it should go.
That's how it should go. How does he deal with it when it's, I had to go out there and dodge traffic. It's part of learning the job.
Right.
Those bad habits.
And so now we're back to the culture thing. Right. So that's already a broken culture in the organization. So what does that employee have at their disposal? Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but they've got legal protection. They've got the OSH Act behind them. They've got the the whistleblower rights. They really have the ultimate trump card when it comes to their own safety. It shouldn't ever have to be played.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. But that's why it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know that a lot of people know that.
Yeah,
understand that. So.
That is a thing. But again, employers, leaders shouldn't be cringing at hearing that. If you're cringing hearing that, you're the problem.
You're the problem.
Yeah. That should be the furthest thing from your worry. You should be encouraging those employees to bring up things that they're finding that are unsafe, or I think there might be a better way to do this. You know what, man? You're right. Good job. Good find. Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
And like I said, if that's not the case, go look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. What percentage of accidents would you say are preventable? Because there's a percentage that just are freakish, right?
Well, there's some.
And are all accidents 100% preventable? I don't know that that's true.
No, well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not an expert.
95% of them. I don't know. I have no idea.
So we don't have enough time to dig into the philosophy behind that, because there are so many things that come into it, right? Yeah. I don't know if I've talked about the lessons that I learned on the Titanic when I was in college.
Yeah.
But I found more than 30 contributors before I had to give up and write my report. If I'd probably still be finding them.
Yeah.
There are all these things that contribute to what eventually happens. That's just the last domino that falls. Mm-hmm. So what can you do ahead of time to prevent that? That is also kind of infinite. Mm-hmm. How many things did you stop from happening by that one action? I don't know.
Yeah.
How many things had to happen for the one thing to happen? Again, I don't know. Mm-hmm.
It's probably impossible to put a number on it.
It's definitely a percentage. There's I don't know that I can actually do that.
But do you guys, when you collect data, do you categorize incidents as preventable or non-preventable?
Not really. I look at all of them because I never have, and I've been in safety. This is my 19th year. Yeah. I've never investigated any incident. And guys, we're talking mining, oil and gas, pipeline, aluminum extrusion, construction, even being in the insurance realm and having clients that I'm consulting for, and even as an outside consultant now, I've never investigated one incident where I shrugged and said, yeah, don't know. I think that thing was just going to happen. Not one. There's always been at least a very small handful of things that could have been done differently that would have prevented that thing.
Sure.
So, well, let me ask it a slightly different way.
Sure.
What about the employee, what they could have done? Because I'm guessing some of those incidents come back and say, well, clearly the employer didn't inform him of this, or they didn't have their, put him in how many is it where the employee can say, I couldn't have done anything else?
Yeah. So the employee finds themselves in a place where they're saying, I can't have done anything else.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure that happens a lot.
Of course it does. Yeah. Is it the truth? Probably not. Because now we're taking a look at the next step, which was because you only know what you know until you know.
Right. Yeah.
So now we're taking the next step and going back to why didn't they know? Was it a missed opportunity with training? Was the communication given in blanket form? And half of them got it because they've been working here for 20 years and they didn't need to hear it because they know what to do. And, this guy 2 weeks on the job now hears the same thing and goes, well, I think I understood what he meant. I guess I'll go do this thing.
Right.
And then what comes out in that investigation? We told you what to do. Yes. So why did you go do that thing? Well, that's what I thought you meant. Oh, well, you're the idiot here. And now I'm back to the Phillips screwdriver thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of where these investigations come from. I always say when I'm doing the investigations is you have to be able to answer 3 questions. How would they know? Who would have told them? And what does that look like? If I can't answer those 3 questions definitively, I'm done. The rest is just details now. Right. We dropped the ball.
Right. Wow. Do you still, or have you, what's your mindset on zero is the only acceptable metric for safety incidents?
Yeah. And that comes up a lot. So my take on that is, if the number isn't zero, it's another number. Give me a name. Give me a name. Whose family are we going to devastate? Yep. Whose livelihood are we going to destroy? Yep. Once you start framing it like that, nobody can question that. Yep. And I think that's part of the problem. If you're pursuing zero as the target, but not considering the means, you've got it backwards. Yep. One of the stories in my book is about my granddad, the truck driver, who ended up a 40-year career north of 4 million miles on the road, no accidents, no citations. He retired as the number one driver in the company. And his explanation on how he got there was 1 mile at a time. Yep. But that's the answer. It's not as though zero's out there and I'm going to go get it. No. He just did the small stuff in a really big way his whole career and turned around one day and was there. That's how you do it. Yeah. But if you're trying to make some kind of, philosophical pitch on, zero and is zero even possible and, that type of thing, that's really hard to get into as well. Mm-hmm. But there's evidence of it. It happens all the time. Undefeated seasons in sports. I've used that one before too. Right. And companies that have gone, the entire existence of the company without ever having to make a really bad notification. There are examples of it everywhere. It exists. It just comes back to your belief system and safety as a value. Mm-hmm. If you're out there pursuing zero and giving up before you even get started because it seems impossible, then it will be.
Yeah, right.
What about the idea of a company using their EMR score as the key performance indicator for safety? Is that a good approach? Because if you have a really good EMR score, you would think that your safety culture...
Talk about lagging. Like it is. That's not even last week. That was like a different company ago. Or
So again, a mod score is it's a lagging indicator. And that can be changed by winning a really good job and adding headcount and income. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like fuzzy math a little bit.
It is. Yeah. It's a very complicated formula that has different metrics built into it. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is largely a formula that says, okay, you don't have many claims, comp claims, and those that you have are pretty low dollar. Mm-hmm. But side by side, I can show you a pretty good mod and show you 15 OSHA recordables. Mm-hmm. Side by side, same company. Why? Because all of these recordables were I'm just sending somebody to the clinic and they ended up needing to get stitches. Mm-hmm. Low dollar. It's not really costing me much. So it's not hitting the mod very high. Mm-hmm. It's not a metric that's, really telling it's not an apples to apples comparison.
Right.
That's why a lot of general contractors want to see both your OSHA recordable log and your EMOD because it's telling two different stories.
Yep.
Yep. So that again, we're back to the danger of lagging indicators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? How do people find you, Brian, if they wanted to reach out to you, ask you some questions?
I'm not hard to find.
Bring you to their company to maybe do some consulting and help out improving their safety program.
Yeah.
What's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah. So my website for consulting is perspectivesafety.com. So that's where you can find me for all the outside stuff. Mm-hmm. Just reach out. My contact information's on there. Of course, my anchor job down at Buesing, we're down on South 7th Street. You can always find me there unless I'm out in the field. Come to a High Lonesome Drifter show and
there you go.
Yeah, come see me after the show and we'll talk safety.
Do you guys have a website yet? You got Instagram?
Instagram, a website still yet to come. I think we're trying to get this music out there and see.
First things first,
right? That's right.
First things first.
Don't want to get too inverted here.
So like whoever's listening to this show, right? What's like maybe one perspective shift you'd like to see them take away from it?
When I first started out on this journey, I realized that I was going against the grain, that I was kind of marching to my own drum out there. And I was, I even remember I had a supervisor asking me if I even knew what my job was in safety, what I was supposed to be doing, because I was focusing more on people and instead of, completing my audits, checking my blocks.
Yeah.
And I realized that what I was chasing wasn't really out there. And so it didn't deter me. And I'm now, again, a VP of, one of the most respected companies in the 5th largest city in the US. And does that mean anything? Not really. But I look in the mirror and I find it extremely rewarding to know that I'm doing the very best I can to keep the folks under my direct watch as safe as possible. And every time I have an interaction with them, I know I've given it my best. And I know that if they went to go work somewhere else, they probably wouldn't have gotten the same message, because this whole inversion and perspective-based safety thing, Buesing is really ground zero for it.
Yeah.
So when folks come through orientation and say, I've never seen anything like that before, that's a compliment.
Sure.
Even
absolutely.
very seasoned people,
Yep.
So I love that. But the consulting thing, to me, again, also gives me the opportunity to change as many perspectives as I can out there.
Yeah.
I think I say that on the website, something like, helping change the way people see safety one perspective at a time, or something like that.
Perspective at a time. I like that. Definitely.
Yeah. So what's the future look like for Brian Owens Inc.?
Shoot, man,
hit the road and see what can happen with your band, or
I don't know. I'm 8 chapters into the sequel on my fiction novel.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, that one, I'm excited about that one. The music stuff is exciting. The consulting is going great. Buesing is doing outstanding. Good things happening there. The family's doing great. Kids are good. I don't know what's next. In fact, that's kind of the joke amongst my friends and, the folks I work with. They all have a pool going on what the next thing I do is. Am I directing a movie? Am I running for politics, or what's the next thing? So I don't know.
Do an Iron Man just because you felt like it. That seems like what would be next.
He's the Trent Keenan of safety.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. Anything else, Brian, you want to get out there before we let you go?
Guys, I just really appreciate it. Every year, this is really one of the best ways to start off the year for me. I always love coming on. You guys are such a joy to hang out with, and given me the chance to, again, get out to this wider audience and really share some thoughts and some philosophy on safety. Who gets that opportunity? People in my role, that just doesn't happen. So thank you. It's great to see you again. And this is always a pleasure.
Yep. Appreciate the kind words, and safety is something we talk about a lot on the show. So
absolutely.
It's kind of like the perfect partnership, kind of like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah, I like it.
Something like that.
All right. Well, we got one last question. You know as well as I do what it is. Do you have a mantra that you live by?
I've got one from the last year.
Yeah. You've had a whole year to think about this.
So when I was a kid, I would always ask my grandpa, how you doing? And he always said, still kicking. And so I've adopted that. When people ask how are things going, how you doing? I'm still kicking. And now as I've gotten older, I think I know what he meant by that. And that's becoming more and more of a thing that makes me smile. Again, it's a fond memory of him, but now I'm connecting with what he was meaning. So I'm going to keep kicking and just keep kicking as high as I can.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What else, Sean? Anything else?
No, man. I agree with Brian. This is like one of my favorite episodes of the year, just because I love talking about perspective and just kind of flipping it around a little bit, especially when you go into, I know it's just a calendar, it makes no difference, but it seems like you have an opportunity to change something at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And I think I think Brian and how he describes it is kind of gives you the meat behind that. So I always love it. So
yep. Changing people's lives.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. One episode at a time.
1 mile at a time.
1 mile at a time. I love it. All right. Well, you got an early flight tomorrow.
I do.
So we're going to have to let you go.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Adding value, making friends.
Check that box.
Check the box for sure. If anyone would like to be a guest on a future show, shoot us an email at info@thegeoholics.com. I think we're booking into the middle of February, end of February.
Yeah, I think we're on the other side of Geo Week.
Yep. So give us a shout if you want to come on the show. Huge thanks to our featured partners, MLID, Topodot, Altera Central, Hexagon, NLC Prep, David Evans and Associates, and of course, our good friends at Diamondback Land Surveying.
DK.
Couldn't do any of it. He's going to be here. He's going to be in the Rock and Roll Marathon.
Of course he is.
Yes. We have to try to catch up with him.
Yeah.
HLD, New Mexico.
Yeah. You can't find it now. Here's the only place, but stay tuned.
Soon to be available everywhere. Until next time, everyone, be safe and healthy.
Love it.
New Mexico. Secrets run deep just like the canyons and the forest fire scars. So if you don't know, it's best that you don't know. The call of the wild.